Okay, so I'm a little late on this one. This one came out on the week of May 5th through May 10th. And I think this is a big deal. It's definitely probably underreported. This is from Ohio. It looks like it says Portman, Schatz, Reintroduce legislation to improve federal government use of artificial intelligence. So this is coming out of the Senate, a bipartisan legislation. Okay, so just to sum it up a little bit quicker here, the major players is U.S. Senator Rob Portman, Republican of Ohio, Brian Schatz, Democrat of Hawaii, Cory Gardner, a Republican of Colorado, and Kamala Harris, Democrat of California. So they're going to try to reintroduce this Artificial Intelligence in Government Act, legislation that would improve the use of AI across the federal government by providing access to technical expertise and streamlining hiring within the agencies.
This is Vera, a robot that does job interviews.
What are the 3 top important tips for a salesperson?
Chae Jung-yo is practicing for a job interview. But when the big day comes, he'll be the only person in the room. He'll turn on a computer at his home, and artificial intelligence will watch and listen to Chae.
Federal agencies are also directed to develop governance plans to promote government uses of AI to benefit the public while establishing best practices for identifying and mitigating bias and other negative unintended consequences. Artificial intelligence will have significant impacts for our country, economy, and society, said Rob Portman, ensuring that our government has the capabilities and expertise to help navigate those impacts will be important in the coming years and decades. This bipartisan legislation will help ensure our government understands the benefits and pitfalls of this technology as it engages in responsible, accountable rollout of AI. All right, so I'm going to point out the fact that it's suggesting that it's going to engage in responsible, accountable rollout, okay? So when something rolls out, when you have something in its beta phase and it's rolling out, it's in its beta phase. So it's just a duality that cannot exist. You can check it when it makes a mistake, but you can't make sure that it's not going to make a mistake that you didn't plan for because you can't plan. It's just going to roll out. And then you're holding it accountable when it makes mistakes. And then you're holding it responsible when it's irresponsible. Or when somebody's irresponsible with it, that's of course if you can catch the irresponsibilities, as it is a logarithm. And if you're not a technician and you're not a computer programmer, I'm not sure how they're going to catch the irresponsible uses of it. Maybe the word I'm looking for is algorithm. I'll have to check that. So these are real tricky words here they're using. We can't continue to lead the world in AI technology if our own government isn't making the most of it, says Senator Schatz from Hawaii. Our bill will give the federal government the resources it needs to hire experts, do research, and work across federal agencies to use AI technologies in smart and effective ways. Senator Gardner says our bill will bring agencies, industry, and others to the table to discuss government adoption of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. We need a better understanding of the opportunities and challenges these technologies present for our federal government use, and this legislation would put us on the path to achieve that goal. Okay, here we go. Get ready for this one. As we brace the new jobs and new opportunities brought about by the growth of artificial intelligence, we must also be clear about the potential downsides of this powerful technology, including racial gender bias. All right, powerful technology, including racial and gender. These robots are racist, biased machines, says Senator Harris. I'm proud to join my colleagues in reintroducing this legislation to ensure that the federal government has the tools it needs to adopt AI technology in a smart way that benefits all Americans. The AI in Government Act of 2019 is a common sense approach to promote responsible, transparent use of emerging technologies and artificial intelligence systems in our society, said Nick Hart, PhD, COO of the Data Coalition. The Data Coalition applauds the proposal to encourage innovative and rigorous data analysis capabilities for improved decision-making while facilitating equitable uses and appropriate privacy protections. I didn't know equitable and privacy even went together. I mean, think Facebook. On behalf of America's tech workers, IEEE USA fully supports the AI in Government Act. This important bill will help the U.S. government to capture the promise of artificial intelligence for the American public, said Dr. Tom Colgan, president of the Institute for Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Okay, so it looks like we have 4 final points, which is pretty much the summary here. the AI in Government Act would create a center of excellence within General Services Administration to provide technical expertise to relevant government agencies, conduct forward-looking original research on federal AI policy, and promote U.S. competitiveness through agency and industry cooperation. 2. Establish an advisory board to address AI policy opportunities and challenges for executive agencies. 3. Direct executive agencies to create governance plans to advance innovative uses and reduce barriers to AI for the benefit of the public while upholding civil liberties, privacy, and civil rights. And finally, 4. Direct the Office of Personnel Management to identify skills and competencies for AI and establish a new or update an existing occupational series. So the last two are a little threatening. Okay, so you're going to direct executive agencies to create governance plans to advance innovative uses and reduce barriers to AI. Essentially, you're telling me that government agencies are going to make a push to have AI use or be used in the function of governance without any questioning or any petitioning or any voting from the American public. And it's supposed to, in this dual world, in the duality of worlds, benefit the public and uphold civil liberties, privacy, and civil rights. And I'm not sure how this is going to do this, if this is going to be interagency action. AI can see all, know all, but then how is it going to protect privacy and civil rights unless it has no accountability to anything at all? I don't exactly know if they know what they're asking.
Look to corrupt intent. Is there corrupt intent? There's corrupt intent if you're trying to obstruct an investigation to protect your family, to protect your business, to protect yourself personally. But it's not corrupt intent if what you're trying to do is allow yourself to execute the powers of the presidency.
A human example of this might actually be the fight between the Department of Education and Elizabeth Warren's team to find out information on loan borrowing and private loan borrowing and the current struggle they're having with the administration. Now, on one hand, they're trying to claim that privacy is an issue. On the other hand, you can see where people have been wronged. It looks like 99% of the individuals that had applied for complete student loan forgiveness have been rejected. Only 1% that has qualified is actually getting their loans completely forgiven. Because, well, actually we don't know why, because they're not allowing to investigate. But this is a human barrier. Now, imagine if a computer was able to be involved in government, it would actually do almost the exact same thing. And you're not going to be able to have a reasonable argument with a computer. It's going to go by its directives that you gave it. Privacy would be a directive, and you're going to give it all the power, and it's absolutely not going to give up anything. Now, you can actually make a legal argument, and eventually you can have the people agree. People can say, hey, we want to say for one moment, we want you to look into our files. We want you to check things out for us. We're giving you permission. You can petition things. How do you make that understood with an algorithm? So the final statement in this all is to direct the Office of Personnel Management to do anything with the AI.
The White House says the fingerprints of 5.6 million people who applied for or received a federal security clearance were stolen. Not 1 million as first believed. That is sobering news. It's coming from the Office of Personnel Management.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure the Office of Personnel Management is the same office you'd contact if you had a security clearance and you think your security clearance may have been compromised or that your identity may have been stolen. You're supposed to immediately contact these individuals and let them know something might have happened. I think this was an issue initially when Chinese had gotten a hold of a great deal of documents or people that may have had security clearances within the last 10 years. This is a little bit older news, and I know a lot of people may have forgotten about it, but it's a real situation. And I'm not sure if I want AI to be...
In U.S. history, more than 21 million people are believed to have had their personal information compromised or outright stolen.
AI to be a part of that agency. Saving the best for last, the legislation has been endorsed BSA, the Software Alliance, Center for Data Innovation, Committee for Justice, Data Coalition, Engine, Institute for Electrical and Electronics Engineers, Internet Association, Lincoln Network, Microsoft, and Facebook. So no surprise, Microsoft and Facebook are endorsing this, but obviously not Google. They may have jumped ship.
Comment that you make in your written testimony. You say some U.S. companies have voiced ethical qualms about working with DoD to develop advanced technology, in some cases even terminating relationships, often while continuing to work with China. What are we talking about here?
believe AI should have a part in something, okay? Because obviously Google is having a big influence on China, and China's not going to slow down. Now, we should have a nice balance of regulation as well as integration, and we need to have the discussion now before China actually takes off past us. With that said, we're going to have to do a little bit better, elected officials, with the public relations issue. This should be in the mainstream. This should be the forefront of U.S. national news. This should be
For China to repress Uyghur Muslims and build illegal military bases in the South China Sea, it takes technology, and American satellite companies are helping.